In this video, I'm answering 6 questions on inductive reasoning. What is inductive reasoning? What are examples of inductive reasoning? How does inductive reasoning work? What's the difference between deductive and inductive reasoning? What are the benefits of inductive reasoning? And what are the limits of inductive reasoning? Let's find out. 1. What is inductive reasoning? When you make a decision, you typically go through a subconscious process of filtering observations through your past experiences. For example, if you look outside through the car's sunroof and see a sunny sky, it's reasonable to think you will not need an umbrella. Because many past sunny days have proven this thinking correct, it is a reasonable assumption. This thought process is an example of using inductive reasoning, as it's a logical process based on specific past experiences, observations, or facts. So inductive reasoning is a type of reasoning which involves drawing a general conclusion from a set of specific observations. Inductive reasoning is a method of logical thinking that combines these past observations with experiential information to reach a conclusion. When you can look at a specific set of data and form general conclusions based on your existing knowledge from past experiences, you're using inductive reasoning. We need more examples, right? So, 2. What are examples of inductive reasoning? Here is a basic form of inductive reasoning with a premise based on concrete data and a generalized conclusion. My premise is, all the swans I've seen are white, so my conclusion is, therefore, all swans are white. In this example, the conclusion is actually wrong. There are also black swans. That's why this is called a weak argument. However, it's easy to make the conclusion stronger by making it more probable. For example, if my premise is, all the swans I have seen are white, a better conclusion would be, therefore, most swans are probably white. A more difficult example would be, if you review the population information of a city for the past 15 years, you may observe that the population has increased at a consistent rate. If you want to predict what the population will be in 5 years, you can use the evidence or information you have to make an estimate. 3. How does inductive reasoning work? With inductive reasoning, you make observations to reach a conclusion. This skill is useful in making predictions and creating generalizations. Your conclusions may not always be true, but they should be reasonable based on the evidence. For example, you notice that customers have bought more of your product during the third quarter of the year for the past 3 years. Based on that information, you predict that your customers will buy more of your product during the third quarter of the coming year. So you increase production to be prepared. 4. What's the difference between deductive and inductive reasoning? I've explained deductive reasoning in a previous video, and you'll find the link to that video below this video. Inductive reasoning is the opposite of deductive reasoning because inductive reasoning uses specific observations to make broad generalizations, whereas deductive reasoning starts out with a general statement or hypothesis and examines the possibilities to reach a specific logical conclusion. In inductive reasoning, there's basically data, and then we draw conclusions from that data. For instance, there have always been swans on the lake in past summers, therefore there will be swans this summer. So, in inductive inference, we go from the specific to the general. We make many observations, discern a pattern, make a generalization, and infer an explanation or a theory. Professor Wassertheil-Smaller told Life Science. So, inductive reasoning is distinct from deductive reasoning. If the premises are correct, the conclusion of a deductive argument is certain. In contrast, the truth of the conclusion of an inductive argument is probable based upon the evidence given. 5. What are the benefits of inductive reasoning? Inductive reasoning allows you to develop multiple solutions to one issue. It allows you to leverage knowledge gathered from past experiences to form judgments and make decisions in new situations. 6. What are the limits of inductive reasoning? One weakness of inductive reasoning is that you're only able to establish theories based on limited evidence or knowledge. For example, if you observe 100 cats and notice they all hiss at dogs, you may conclude that every cat will hiss at dogs. While this is sound reasoning, the data you're using is limited. Because you only observed 100 cats, your conclusion may not be true for every cat. So when you use inductive reasoning, it's important to recognize that there is always room for error. This information came from these websites. You'll find these links below this video. If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel and watch this series from the start. Next Friday, I'll be back with a new video in my series on LGBTQ+ related topics. Till then, I only want to say 4 things. Thank you for watching. Take care. Stay friendly and bye for now.